Guys, this is my Sorc PVP build for Waking Flame. Let's get right into our build here. Our stats: 22k physical, 22k spell resist, 2.5k crit resist, 1100 magic recovery, 800 health recovery, 1300 stamina recovery, 21k max stamina, 32k max health, and 15k max magicka. Our advanced stats for this build are 53 block negation, 168 sprint speed, and 2400 roll dodge cost, and 4800 break free cost. With the pot up, our recoveries are hitting 1600 stamina recovery, 1100 health recovery, 1400 magic recovery. And for our build here, we're running the lady for our extra tankiness. I think this is almost a must for this build. I would definitely recommend running this. And we're running bear hunt here for our food. You can run takeaway broth if you want to, but I do think this is better. Let's run the bear hunt here. For our race here, we are running an Ort. For Swift Warrior, increase our weapon spell damage by 258, reduces the cost of sprint by 12%, increase our movement speed by 10%, very important passive. Unflinching Rage, increase your max health by 1k, and whenever you deal damage, you heal for 2200. Nice, nice, nice. And Brawny, when you increase your max stamina by 1k, very good to have. Other races that work well for this setup are a Nord for extra tankiness, and Imperial for more max stats, and a little bit more sustain. For our sets here, we're running 1-1-1, so 5 medium, 1 heavy, 1 light, 4 in pen, 3 well fitted, everything's prismatic, enchanted. Okay, for our first set here, we're running Thunder Collar. This gives us penetration, weapon, and then it gives us a nice 13,500 shock damage. And then we're running 1 piece Balor, sharpen weapon and spell damage, and then Deadly Assassin gives weapon, increase max stamina, adds 200 weapon damage. And another nice proc here for 7k. For our dually here, running all infused weapon damage. Run 1 piece Malakath. That's what I personally like to run. Other things you can run instead of Malakath here is 1 gaze of Sithis. That works well. I've tried both. That works really well. And then you can run a monster set here for 2 piece Balor, 2 piece Bloodspawn, or 2 piece Ending Guardian. All those work well. So those are just some important side notes if you wanted to run other things instead of Malakath. The reason why I do run Malakath is because my crit's 24%. And at that point, I think it's worth to run Malakath. For our damage here, we're running 2 piece maces, double sharpen, 1 shock, 1 poison. Very good, very good. Lots of extra damage here. Sharpen and mace is the best way to go for most damage, by the way. And then we're running a sword for Vaystrand here. Powered, got 9% healing. You could run defending. I prefer powered. I think it's better. Weapon damage enchant, increases the weapon spell damage by 348. Very nice to have. You could run escapist potions here, or you could run ball of lightning. Those are going to be your only 2 snare removals for this build, so just keep that in mind. If you're curious about how much damage our proc sets do, I will show you right now. We do 16,000 on Thunder Collar, Deadlands does 8k, and Vaystrand does 14k. For our quick skills here, we're running Quick Claw for Major Evasion or Expedition. Very good, very good. Streak for our stun does 8k. Crystal Weapons, Whirling Blades, AoE Execute. Outbreak is running. This is our only stun besides Streak. So if you do want to run Ball of Lightning, this will be your only stun. Camouflage Hunter for that major savagery, and to get that minor berserk. For our backbar, running Caltrops for our major fracture and the slow. Major fracture is very, very important. Must have on almost every build. Gives you a lot of extra damage, and it's a nice slow, so this is the bonus. Rally, Vigor, Dark Deal, Hurricane, and Temporal Guard. That's what we're running for the setup. Very good. Alright, this is all. Of course, we're running this for minor protection. You could run in the gate here if you're running more in a group. Our damage on our abilities are 2k here on Quick Cloak. Streak is 8k, Crystal Weapons 12k, Whirling Blaze is 10k, Dawnbreaker is 22k, Caltrops is 1600, Vigor is 22k, and Hurricane is 12,444. Dark Deal, very good ability, keep that in mind. Very cheap too, 2,300. So our passives here, get all your passives in Dark Magic. Even this one, be a good guy for your group. I mean, if you're really just running pure solo, then I guess you don't need this, but I would still recommend getting it. You don't need Daedric Protection or Expert Summoner. There's only 2 passes I wouldn't get in this tree. These 2 are also useful. Reduces all of cost, very important. And this one is, very nice to have. Capacitor here, Energize, Aptitude, and Expert Mage, all very important passes. Very good. Especially this one's I feel very good as well. Lots of damage when they get low. Extra damage, extra damage. Very good, very good. For our two-hand, the only ones you need are heavy weapons and balanced blade. The other ones you can get in if you want, but they're not needed. This gives us more weapon and spell damage when we have a two-hander, and this reduces the cost of our two-hander abilities, so very good. Dual, get all your passives. Important. For medium armor, get all your passives for sneak. When you roll, you do 10% less damage from AoE. That's an important side note to have, so when you're going to take some AoE damage, throw in a roll there to get that 10% damage reduction. Light armor, get all your passives as well here. That's that pen one, that's very nice to have. Heavy armor, get all your passives as well for heavy armor. Undaunted is important since we're running 111. So keep that in mind. And then let's go into our CP here. We are running Budding Aura, Master at Arms, Resilience, and do this rebuff. You could run Deadly Aim instead of Resilience if you want more damage, since this Budding Aura does not apply to all your abilities. But I think Budding Aura is better than Deadly Aim for this build. But you can run Deadly Aim as well and just drop Resilience if you want the most damage possible. Or if you think Deadly Aim is better than Budding Aura, you can go with that as well. I prefer Budding Aura though, so that's just my preference. In order of passives, I'll go from Piercing here down to Tireless Discipline, into Quick Recovery, Hardy, Elemental Aegis, Precision, all the way down into Blessed. I'll get your other passives as you see fit, as they're not as important. Juggernaut, Balance, Vitality, Fortified, and Rejuvenation is what we're running in the red tree. For passives here, I get Defiance, Tumbling, Hero's Vigor, Mystic Tenacity, Haste, and Sprinter. All those are very important, but I would go in this line here. I'm pretty sure you have to start here, so you go like here, 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 into here, into here. That's how the way I would do it in the order. And other things you can run instead of Rejuvenation or Balance Vitality is Slippery. Since you only have 21k max stam, when you break free it's 5k, so you're losing roughly 25% of your total max stam pool. Sometimes that has screwed me over in fights, so just keep that in mind for this build, since our max stam pool is actually pretty low. Or you can run Stained by Suffering instead of Rejuvenation. This gives you more recovery when you have a negative effect, and if you're in open world, you're almost always going to have a negative effect on heal. So if you are running open world purely, then I would run this instead of this. And then for our green tree here, you're running Gifted Rider, War Mount, Steed's Blessing, and I just have this on. For this tree, you can do whatever you really want. Important passives are Break, Fall, and Liquid Efficiency for some money saving, and reduce our fall damage. Because we like to jump off stuff. So for our damage here, I'm going to show you our nice bit of our damage on this poor troll here. We'll have to die for our cause. It'll be a noteworthy sacrifice here. So let's proc our bait strand here. Important notes, make sure your stamina is usually always maxed up before you go on the offensive. Proc down the drops, proc the crystal, and you want to go for that nice heavy. So he had 80,000 before we did anything. After we heavy, he had 5k, so we did 75k with just a heavy attack. That's pretty insane. The base damage with this heavy attack is 60k, I'm pretty sure. Did the math. That's with Crystal Weapon hitting, Deadly Assassin hitting, Thunder Color hitting, and Base Run hitting all at once, along with your heavy attack. That is roughly 60k. When Thunder Color and Deadly Assassin is down, it's going to be roughly 24,000 lower damage. So keep that in mind when you have that 15-second cooldown you're waiting for. Your burst with your heavy is going to be roughly 20k lower. That's also not including our procs here, so the 60k can then be added onto Quick Cloak, Physical Chops, and Hurricane all ticking at the same time. And that's not including Whirling Blades or Dawnbreaker hitting at the same time either. So it actually gets pretty insane how much burst damage you have just from a heavy. 60k from one heavy attack is not very fair. It's kind of dumb, but yeah, it's proc sets. So the way you want to play this build in the open world is you want to throw Caltrops to Kite. Use Quick Cloak to get Major Excision, run around. Caltrops, you can streak through people or away from people, it's all up to you. You have 2 to 4 roll dodges on this build. We don't have a lot of well fitted, so let's keep that in mind. And Another important side note here is you can roll that a lot. You have dark deal, so don't be afraid to expend that stamina. Just make sure if you are going to get very low on stamina, you have CC immunity up, so you can't get CC'd and died. I've run into that myself a few times. So just keep that in mind when you're playing the build. If you have any questions, feel free to ask down in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer anything. And I hope you guys enjoyed.